Let's see what happens when we push all the buttons. All the buttons. There we go. Hey, and we're on Twitch. All right. That's good. Okay. Good. And not dropping any frames. Yay. All right, chat room, let us know when you can see and hear us. There we go. Now I'm not so washed out.
Look there, the AIE Guild is live.
Yeah.
Meep.
Okay, there we go. Oh, there's Seema. Yay. All right, now let's hope I'm not quite... Oh, an Accusod. Greetings, Accusod. Okay.
What do you mean? He's here with us every 2 weeks.
I know. I know. All right. Okay, well, let's get this show on the road then, if we're good. We good to go? Because I will take us live.
I'm probably more morally gray in games than good.
All right. All right. Going live in 5, 4, 3. On this episode of the AIE Podcast.
We're sending love from the 1st to the 13th.
Raids in ICC and Black Temple? What year is it?
Traitors amongst the Thrawn. I mean, Chiss.
While rumors of a free ship abounds.
Hobbit bellies aren't the only thing expanding in Lord of the Rings Online.
All that and more coming up right now.
Bringing you the latest news from the AIE gaming community from planet Earth and beyond. This is the AIE Podcast.
Welcome to episode 410 of the podcast celebrating you, the Alea Iacta gaming community. The Die Has Been podcast. That was Accusod, and this is Tetsemi. And to my left, and 2 states over, is Mewcow.
Greetings, guildies. Hope you're enjoying the hopefully nice weather everywhere right now.
Nice-ish. Yeah, we'll take it.
I mean, compared to what, 4 months of over 100?
Exactly. And to my right is Makala. Wait, what? She's in New York City? New York City? No one let her know Fashion Week was last week? Ooh, oh my. All right. Well, this week we are joined by special guest Kelsier, who's here to talk to us about AIE in Final Fantasy XIV. Welcome.
Woo! Thank you. Happy to be here.
You're welcome. And yes, she is in New York City, so she will not be here. She will not be appearing virtually or otherwise. So if the show notes are a mess, it's all me, not her. So, all right. Well, let's go around starting with Kelsier. What have you been up to in or out of game this past few weeks?
Oh, man. As with a lot of people, I've been trying to play through Baldur's Gate 3. And I keep restarting my character, although I finally settled on a Dark Urge barbarian who's a pink dragonborn.
Oh, nice!
I figured it'd bring some much needed levity to this whole process, and I'm really liking that one so far. Let's see, what else have I been? So I've been my dad and I have been we went and bought and have been restoring a 1973 Hobie, a 14-foot Hobie cat. So they're like these sailboats that are like little, or have 2 like pontoons, I guess. And that's been super fun. We got it on its first fully successful sailing.
Nice.
That's what it's so funny to think that this thing was made and brand new and my dad was 15.
Wow.
But we got it for pretty cheap, and it's turning out great. So that's been really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, and then continuing to enjoy all the new content in Final Fantasy XIV, doing map nights and going back to some older stuff with people on Saturday nights. So it's been really cool.
That's awesome. No, that's great.
Yeah.
I love family projects like that. That's great. How close
Yeah,
are
it's
to you
super
where you
fun.
can sail it?
Well, I'm letting my dad do it because he's the one that has the experience, and it was kind of his present, right? To like that we kind of we pitched in on. So I'm letting him figure it out, and then I'll make him drag it. I'm on. Oh, I need to tow you back. Let me do that duty, but thankfully I haven't had to do that yet.
Gotcha. Cool. Very cool. And Mew, what have you been doing besides potentially packing up your house?
Well, this weekend it was back-to-back kids parties. So very tired, watching and chasing after 8-year-olds as they terrorized different indoor play areas, which are a big thing out here because it's always so hot most of the year. But yeah, no, they're getting more and more fancy with those things too. The one we went at today was big enough that if you wanted to, the parents could go after and run after their kids in the little playground area too. So
wow.
Oh, nice.
huge. Yeah, and then they had a neat little arcade, and I might have spent a little too much time at the ticket pusher area.
As you do.
It was a hot seat. I got 1,600 tickets out of it, so it was it was just falling. Like I barely put any money into it, and it just everything was falling out. So that
Nice.
apparently was the place to go. But yeah, it's finally getting to be a little bit better weather. I put a few, like 1 or 2 Halloween decorations out. I need to find all of my fancy cables and whatnot for the power, and then I'll put everything out. But yeah, this is the first weekend that we're starting to see Halloween decorations. That's always exciting to see that popping up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
And
at
then-
Lowe's and Home Depot, they've got the Christmas stuff out.
Yeah.
I was there today, so I saw it and could hear it.
Exactly.
Target had a little section for Christmas too. I'm waiting to where's the Valentine's Day stuff and the Easter,
Right.
that should already be out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always funny how that happens. But yeah, so that's the real world, and then it's weird being out in the real world more often lately. It's like, oh yeah, it's like, oh yeah, I haven't been here in 4 years. I wonder why.
Yeah.
Game wise, of course, the usual Final Fantasy 14 stuff that we'll discuss later. I've been spending the rest of my time in Cyberpunk 2027, the new expansion. And I have to say, I mean, normally I try to stay on more of the good side, but something they did with the patch, like it is almost impossible not to just murder everyone as you go through. Even when you're trying not to, they just end up dead. It's like,
Oh my.
because the guns I have, I purposely put a no kill mod in it so that it would not kill them. But the way they tweaked it, because there's atmospheric damage and
Right.
bonus damage, and this gun will electrify them on top of what they usually get hit, and this one will set them on fire, and this one will do that, and it's like okay, but there's a mod so they don't die, right? There's a mod so they don't die, right? It's like no,
No.
just swaths of bodies.
Nope.
It's like, oh, that one's dead.
Oh,
that one's
God.
dead. Oh,
What have
that
I
one's
done?
dead.
I didn't
Well, it's
realize I
funny.
was playing the Dark Urge.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah,
Cyberpunk.
it's just like, I mean, yeah, it would be easier if I did it that way, but it's like I'm taking the time to try not to kill everyone, because there are even some quests. It's like if you take the time to not kill everyone off, like they can check their bio monitors, and and normally with requests like, oh yeah, no, yeah, our guys are still alive, no big deal here, we won't try to murder you. It's like, nope, boss, everyone's dead. Okay, it's like, oh, okay, boss fight time. So it's just. Because it's one of the interesting things about the world is you can make those choices, and one of the things that I will say about the new expansion 2.0, all the 2.0 quests, there's no longer a good and evil choice.
No.
It is so morally gray. It is so, this is good for this reason, but this
it's
is good for
bad
this
that
reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like, well, it's like, this seemed like the obvious choice. It's like, oh no, you find out that this will cause this thing to happen. Oh crap, that was worse. Maybe the other one, maybe the other one. So, but it's it makes it more interesting. You can't just do the dark side, light side, rebel vanguard stuff anymore.
Right.
It's you now have to think about, it's like, huh.
Well, and
you have to
that's
role
more
play
true
in
to
this game. It's
Cyberpunk
weird.
anyway. That's more
Yes.
true to the genre anyway. It's like there aren't really good or bad. It's more of, are you looking out for yourself? Are you looking out for your family? Are you looking out for your, adopted family?
Yeah. Are you trying to be the hero, or are you trying to save the small?
Well, and
group
who are
near
you trying
or
to be the
larger
hero
group?
for? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's like, the overarching bad guys. Well, actually, there's a bunch of people that had just happened to kind of like, if you think about the Empire, like not everybody in the Empire is there to be Imperial
Or evil. Yeah, they're just there.
Exactly. They just, that's just, it's look at, New Hope. It's like, Luke might have ended up in the Empire if things had not happened the way they did.
Yeah, I mean, just look at Andor. That's
and look at, and I know not everyone likes the movie, but look at Solo. I mean, it's
100%.
That was the group you went to, and they have a lot of that in Cyberpunk too. It's like, it was the military group of the area. That's what you did if you didn't want to live off the streets. You joined the military. So that's, as usual, like, the game has just been amazing, especially, ever since like 1.5, 1.6, it's just been a wonderful game, and I'm been so happy to be able to go back, and it's been worth it doing all the new stuff, and I'm almost done with the new story. I've been trying to do all the side stuff just because it just feels right. So that's been most of my time, and occasionally poking at Starfield, but it's on the back burner waiting. As soon as I'm done with Cyberpunk, that I can do Starfield, and then when I'm done with Starfield, I can go back to Baldur's Gate 3, and then once I'm done with Baldur's Gate 3, I'm going to go back to 16. Once I'm done with 16, it's just kind of
Yeah.
Oh no, 2 more games got added. Crap.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like the book pile,
just-
the never-ending book pile.
Pretty much, yeah. So if you could just give us a break, I know everybody just got done with your pandemic backlog, but can you give us some time?
Yeah,
just
breathe,
relax.
Well, the nice thing is, if you're not playing them all at the same time, then you've got a nice queue of like, okay, I'm done with this for now. Now I'm going to go play, I'm going to go play the Bethesda game in space. And then you're like, okay, now I'm going to, now I'm going to go play Cyberpunk. Yeah.
Well, because I now I still haven't done the Final Fantasy 14 MSQ. I've done the Alliance raid, but not the MSQ. I still have that to look forward to. I still have the island stuff to do. I still have all of the other 2 new tribes. I have not finished them. I'm a good portion of the way through, but I'm not finished with them yet. And it's just and WoW is going to have some stuff coming out soon too. I just that's another thing. My raid team finally got ahead of the curve.
Nice.
Last week. So we finally got that. It took us a while. The last boss, Sakarath, he is tough on heroic. Like, the difficulty ramps way up. Because like the first part of the raid, you feel like you steamroll through it, and then you boom, okay, here's Nathalia, and here's Sakarath. It's like, I think they need to tweak the difficulty curve a little bit. So we'll see how they do with the new raid coming out soon. Oh, that probably won't come out until maybe after or close to BlizzCon. So we'll see. But that's enough out of me. How about you, Tets?
Much the same. I got like 99% of everything in Palia done. They added 1 new villager relationship to work on, and that was the Plumehound from from Hassian. So I've got him to level 3, and I'm just working to finish that off. There should be a new temple coming probably in the next month, because they have the water and the fire temples done.
Fire. So which was going to be earth or wind?
Air or earth waiting on. So we'll see how that goes. That's always fun content. So that's I'm just kind of doing my farm area to make passive money in there, and then expanding the house as I can. So I need to buy the last storage thing, which is 100,000 gold for the recipe, because I'm running out of space again. Shocking. Inventory management issues in MMOs. How does it happen?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Well.
And then Final Fantasy XIV, which we'll definitely get into soon. But I did, unlike Mew, I did the opposite. I did the main story quest. I did queue up the explosion for 2 weeks, so we hit 17 on day 1. And then 18 shortly after that, when the 2 granaries upgraded, plus the quest line for opening the new area, making the new tools, manually doing the crops instead of turning on automation, all that. So I'm at 18 and like 3/4 now. The interesting part of the 4-level thing is if you did the explosion, 17 was instant, 18 was really easy. The slog from 18 to 19 is the biggest slog because once you hit 19, you have 4 workshops to upgrade, and those 4 give you experience for the 4 upgrades. So there's actually less experience you need to go out and get once those are upgraded compared to the 18 to 19 slog. So I've been doing that. That's fun. Really, the main story quest was some of the best writing they've done. Without spoiling it, you go back to other reflections. You involve people in those reflections from other expansions. You actually take into account how they feel about what you're proposing to do and assure them why you're doing it and kind of getting their buy-in for it. So it's like, wow, you're actually acknowledging this is a living world with people in it whose story has been advancing this whole time while we're off saving the world. Shocking.
Yeah, and they're not just like, oh, you're the good guy. Okay, yeah, you're the hero. Yeah, do whatever you want. You're fine.
Exactly. Yeah, there's actual angst and worry and concern and how is this going to affect people, and it's all really well done. And I loved visiting those characters again, especially in the first, because it was good to see everything there. But it was a nice wrap up for the story, and I'm looking forward to what's next. But not too soon. They can hold off for a little bit. I got other stuff to do.
Yeah, we need more time, please.
Exactly. And then
for sure.
Baldur's Gate 3, this is my first complete playthrough. I started a playthrough, got all the way through the Underdark, into the Act 2, the Shadowed Lands, and then ended up re-rolling because I realized I missed a bunch of stuff that I did out of order that didn't make the story flow the way I wanted it to flow. Like, just some odd stuff. Like if you deal with the Goblin Camp, they never attack the Druid Grove, and that sort of thing. Or you can just deal with them attacking the Druid Grove and then having to defend it. And there's other stuff, but some of the there's been a lot of save and go back a few steps because I'll run into stuff like, oh, if you did X, that means Y died because you should have done Z first, but you didn't know that because you go like halfway through Z, rescue these people, then you can go back and do the other part. I'm like, it's very convoluted. You're in several quests at the same time, and you're doing parts of them in the correct order to make sure everyone gets saved that you want to save or interact with. So, of course,
it's almost as if having choice to go which direction you want is not on rails or something strange
right.
like
well,
that.
It's not quote unquote optimal, but it's realistic.
Yeah.
And that's what I like to see is like, if you made the decision to go do this, that means time's still ticking over here and you're getting screwed if you wanted to do something over here. But I'm on the tail end of Act 2. I already knew what was under Moonrise because for some reason my character decided to stick his hand in a wall, a hole in the wall, and that was not a good idea. So I already knew what I was going down there for, but the first fight on top that opened that up was fun, and now I'm trying to clear everything out before heading down there. So I'm playing a bard.
I had it. Yeah, nice.
So I'm really enjoying the bard because I can do the lock picking and the influence, and then just rely on Karlach to break through anything I need broken through. So
yeah.
Your bard is picking locks. So is he singing at the lock or something? Or
no, he just has a very good. He's a very good performance. He just performs. Yes.
I see. Performs the act of picking lock very well.
Yeah,
He's
but
like that MythBuster episode where they crack the wine glass.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like with the voice, he just goes up to it and goes, "Ooh."
Yep. Exactly.
I mean, to be fair, barbarians open doors by throwing the thief through them. So
exactly.
I need to do that more.
Why not yell at them?
Come here, Asterion.
Exactly. About as much use as he is. So my main party for this playthrough has been Shadowheart, Will, and Karlach. And then I'm going to do another playthrough with Lizelle, Gale, and Asterion. Still deciding which route I'm going to take on that. But I did do, I took Lizelle out to the mountain pass. So I did the mountain pass in the Kresh area before doing Moonrise, before doing the Mausoleum and Gauntlet of Shar stuff. So, I had to get everything in the right, which order do we need to do this in so I could see everything in these characters. And Lizelle's story is just crushing. You realize how damaged a character she actually is with all the stuff she's dealing with, and how much she's actually including you in her journey, in her society that she's not supposed to.
I know I've seen bits and pieces of it. It's like how messed up is she that she thinks this is okay?
Yeah, exactly. How messed up is she that she's going to take you to a purification event in something for her society that is not allowed for outsiders, and she thinks she's going to be able to pull this off. Yeah. So, yes, she's blunt, and yes, she's not the cuddliest person, if you want to use that term, but there's a reason. It's because she's scared, she's damaged, and she's looking on you to help her out just in the only way she knows how. She's used to a very brusque society. So, I'm having fun with that.
It's it just feels like she's taking a tar into a cow roast. It's just it doesn't seem right.
No, exactly. All right, but so that's where I'm at. I'm right before the second fight with the boss of Moonrise Towers, and then we'll see what happens from there. But I've been having a lot of fun with that, and my daughter and her girlfriend have been. They ran a duo, and I think they were using Gale and Asterion with their two characters, and then we did a 4-person with Heather, myself, my daughter, and her girlfriend. Did that, and we just got through the first area where you rescue withers on that playthrough. So we're doing we're doing multiple different games, which is nice. So, but
that's the other problem with BG3 is just how many parties you have going on at one time.
Yes.
It's you have your solo game, then you have the one with your family, then you have the one with your friends, and you have the one with this group, and you have the one with that group.
But you say that like it's a problem. It's not.
No, it's only a problem if you have so many hours in the day.
Right, exactly.
I need to do that because I'm a goody two shoes that can't disappoint pixels on a screen. So, so I need someone to carry me through an evil playthrough because I'm doing, even though I'm playing the Dark Urge, I'm doing You're
still doing the good Dark Urge, yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's the thing is if you're doing true Dark Urge, then it's easy. You just do what it tells you to do.
Right, exactly.
But I can't.
I can't be mean to pixels on the screen. Because the one time I was mean, then I learned I did the wrong thing, and now I feel bad.
I mean, it could be worse. You could be playing Starfield trying to be a pirate, and I hear that's horrible.
Yeah.
Like in the same way, or like you do horrible things to people.
Well, the thing is the game has horrible problems with bounties. So if you're on a remote planet, millions and millions and millions of light years away, and you happen to accidentally steal something, and that one guy in the corner saw you, the entire universe now knows. So, so it's
not just the people back at camp you have to worry about.
Dang this Star exactly. Twitter with instant video
exactly.
upload.
And that's a whole other thing about Starfield is your companions. That if they then hear about what you did 15 million light years away, and they have to scold you about it.
You're a terrible person.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will be digging into Final Fantasy XIV shortly and all its glory. But first, let's cover this week's news.
AIE News.
All right. In Nomad's news, Diablo 4. I knew there was another game out there I had played recently.
I haven't even touched that one. Jeez.
Yeah. The clan continues to grow, and they are at the clan cap. If you have not yet joined the clan, please reach out in the AIE Discord in the channel Diablo and let them know. An officer will make room to let you in. If you've previously joined and are fairly certain you won't be continuing, let us know so we can remove you from the clan. Season 2, the Season of Blood, i.e. Vampires, will be kicking off October 17th at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, and will be launching on Steam as well. And there's a couple links to news articles on the Blizzard site about it.
Yeah, that's been really interesting seeing all the Blizzard stuff that's been such the bastion of BattleNet is now going to Steam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all that it exposes. That's the bad thing.
Yes, there is that too.
All the brigading going on.
You know, well, and you know it's got to be Microsoft urging them to do that because of all the antitrust stuff. So they're preparing. They're preparing for because they know Microsoft's going to win and then they're going to own Blizzard. So be ready for that, everybody.
I just wish that they hadn't I don't know what they were thinking when they said, okay, so take a character through the main story, and then when we launch seasons, we're not going to continue the story for your main character. You're going to have to roll up a completely new character, play through the whole story again, and then experience the seasonal content, which extends the story that your main character played through but now has no idea about. I'm like, what?
It's like the opposite problem to Final Fantasy XIV, where you have one character that can do everything.
Yes, exactly.
You have one character that can do only one thing.
I was actually talking with someone at the kid's birthday party today about that very thing, and one of the good reasons why the seasons exists is for one of the problems he has, where he feels like he can't get into Diablo because all of my friends are already max level. It's going to take me forever to get up there.
Right.
Well, if he jumps into a season, everybody starts at the same field. Everyone starts at 0 or 1 or whatever. Yeah. So I can see that's one way why the reason like that, and you're gonna play the game more, and you're gonna bring more low level people with you. That's the thing. If you get to the point where everyone's in end game and starts an end game, then you're basically leaving anyone new. They can't join the cycle. So
fair point.
I can kind of see that. I can see that's why they still keep it that way.
Yeah, it's just frustrating that we get very attached to these characters and build headcanon and relationships with things in game, and then it's like, no, set that aside. That character can't actually go participate in this content. You have to start a new character. That's frustrating.
Yeah. That's okay. It's just his brother or his cousin, or it's his alternate reality version of
alternate dimension.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there's nothing stopping you from making a character that looks exactly the same, but in your heart.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the multiverse of Diablo. That's all.
Yep.
Speaking of multiverses in another universe, WoW Warcraft. In WoW Retail, new raid cleared Black Temple time walking as part of the 5-week Turbulent Timeways event. Lots of T's in there.
Yes.
Temple time walking Turbulent Timeways event. Oof. There is also a mount reward for it, so that's probably why they were going after it. All right. If you were hoping to do Brewfist, sorry, it's over. There is, however... Yeah, it's too late. But there is a new dragon riding race challenge over on the Eastern Kingdoms. The Eastern Kingdoms Cup has begun. And for those that aren't aware, you can get a dragon riding outfit if you get enough tokens and some other goodies for your dragon. But you get to ride your dragon in the Eastern Kingdoms, which is the old world, but only during the race. If you try to ride it otherwise, it's like, what are you doing? Those don't fly here. As the race goes behind them, no, you can't ride your dragon here. No. Ignore the race. No, but yeah. So that's going on right now, and also in 10 days on the 18th, Halloween events start. So look forward to that. Also, since it's October 8th, that means the month basically just begun. So if you have not looked, there's a new Traders Tenders collection going on right now. There's a whole new mount. It is a giant icy boy. It is like your character, it looks tiny on this thing. So it's a giant icy rock thing. But that's like 700 or 750 tokens. Also, if you have not known, there is a bunch of outfits in the monthly traders section that are kind of like part upgrades for legacy armor sets from classes in the past. So, it's like, what's a good example? It's the names escape me, but like the big Paladin Retribution set, like you can get some pieces parts. It does the helmet, the shoulder pads, and the belt, because back in the day, they didn't have the 3D assets. It was all 2D. So now they're kind of bringing that outfit to the future, to the present, by letting you get some 3D pieces for that old piece. So it's kind of neat. Yeah, yep. I like what they're doing with that. I still think they need dyes, though. But
100%.
Together, yeah. But
we'll talk about that in we'll talk about that in Final Fantasy 14, because the new dyes are lovely.
Yes. All right, let's go back in further time to WoW Classic. And good news, everyone!
Nailed
Ice
it.
Crown Citadel opens next Thursday, with associated dungeons opening on Tuesday. Those were some good dungeons. Those were a lot of fun.
They were.
Yep, especially the one where the Lich King's chasing you. It's just, just get you going. New dungeon difficulty comes out as well, and we are getting account-wide pets and mounts and a real dungeon finder. Although I guess it's not going to be quite like the WoW retail one. I guess they've tweaked it. It's different somehow. I don't know. They said there was some kind of a compromise, because there's all the class people saying, no, we don't want that. It destroys our community. And then they're like, okay, we'll find a weird compromise. So we'll see how that works. The classic raid team spins back up this week after a long break over the summer, because it was just too hot to run your PCs. They'd melt. Now that everyone seems healthy again, especially the raid leader, they are looking forward to clearing TOC and moving into ICC next week. What year is it again?
I know, exactly. Oh, and Seema says on the Dungeon Finder, she says, no classic people are saying that. That's just the people that aren't actually playing, that are just whinging about the whole thing.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, you need to make YouTube content somehow, right? So you have to create, false problems. So
or pick virtual fights for some reason.
Are doing that. Yeah, the YouTubers are doing that for Final Fantasy 14 right now, apparently.
Yes.
Well, there's part of it is there's not a lot of content. Well, I mean, we just got some new content, but that's right. There was a content lull, so they had to do something to keep themselves busy.
Exactly.
So, why Endwalker's the worst expansion ever put out? Like, what?
Ever.
What? Go back in your
playing the
channel.
same game.
Yeah.
Yep. But so looks like they one-shot the 10-person TCC raid last night, which that was an interesting raid. It was the first time as a raid in about 4 months. They then proceeded to take out some bosses in Ulduar in search of great upgrades. Remember that Wrath of the Lich King Classic back patches higher level gear drops to older raid tiers and Heroic Plus dungeons. Because I don't think there was quite such a thing back then. And so they're kind of like backporting things. So yeah, it's interesting. They look to have 12 plus members available for raiding again, and will push stronger to take down the Lich King and ICC. So if you are missing those days of Lich King being relevant, jump in. They're waiting for you.
Yep.
I did just have a pang of nostalgia, because I just realized Ulduar was my first MMO raid, like in the more modern era. I guess I did something similar in Final Fantasy 11, but not quite like World War.
Yeah,
Not quite the
Ulduar,
same.
because I joined. What did I join? I joined AIE coming in the tail end of Burning Crusade, so Wrath of the Lich King was just launching, but I wasn't raid ready. But I still got pulled into. After a while the first raid, and then joined Scott and Randy's team going through. What was the raid before Ulduar?
Oh,
Max?
The Tournament of Champions.
No, that came after. It was the
Yeah, it
one
must have been
before
Nax,
Ulduar. Yeah.
it might have been Nex Ramas, the new Nex Ramas.
It was the new Nax Ramus. Yeah, because I got pulled into tank for Gluth, which was terrifying.
Yeah, and I remember many a time being a feral cat being suddenly a bear cat at the end of the fight.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Back when that was a thing.
Yeah, Seema, yes, the doggy. I got pulled in. I was barely, I think I was like 2 points under defense cap, and they're like, "Here's what we need you to do. You're bait." Like, go tank
What?
loot. Okay. All right. And I ended up someone in the AIE made blacksmith boots for me, which was better than what I had and actually got me defense capped. And that's when I started raiding full time. And then we ended up doing 25-man Ulduar, and then halfway through Ulduar we split into a 10-man raid as well. So I was doing 10-man normal, 10-man heroic, 25 normal in Ulduar. Oh, God, I don't miss those days. I mean, I do. I miss the people in the raiding, but not the time commitment. It was ridiculous.
Oh yeah, I remember those days of having 3 or 4 different raid teams going at once.
Yeah. All right. But in other space news, SOTOR for MFN on Tuesday, they engaged in some of their normal galactic mayhem, but they also took a look at the lair boss that many guildies on the team never had the chance to see before, the Colossal Monolith. Boss is a Sith spawn, say that 10 times fast, that guards his lair on the destroyed planet of Zyos. He guarded it pretty well from us, but we did make him mad. On Wednesday, they won their first 4 matches to sweep the weekly and complete the Galactic Seasons objective. Friday night, the heroes struggled to defeat Traitor among the Chiss, but through sheer grit and determination, they eventually emerged victorious.
Over in ESO, they have the Tales of Tribute 4 tournaments going on now. Gotten back into trials and have defeated a boss that they have never been able to in the past. So there's some progress there.
Awesome.
In ESO, they're getting ready for update 40 on October 30th, so end of this month, which will have an endless dungeon that can be soloed or faced with a partner or companion. They will be able to get class-specific armor from this dungeon, so sounds like a lot of people will be in there.
That seems really interesting. I may have to come back for that. I'm currently Final Fantasy XIV is my only sub. Not that ESO needs a sub, but if you want to,
it needs a sub.
It needs a sub if you're doing inventory management.
It doesn't need a sub, but it needs a sub.
It needs a sub for inventory management. So that looks interesting. I may have to come back for that.
It's not quite like SOTOR, where you can kind of get away with not having a sub if you've given them a little bit of money, but
All right.
I've had an itch in my back of my head for a little bit lately. I might have to. That and Guild Wars 2, I've been like,
Yeah, I'm behind in Guild Wars 2 as well. They've got a lot of stuff I need to catch up to, but that list is just too long. Just don't have the room.
Puppy's adjusting my backdrop. Sorry about that. All right. And more space.
Nope, more space news.
We got more space news, and then we'll get into the topic. In STO, the Federation fleet is counting down to the final big project of the colony, which will unlock the Kantari bridge officers. All the colony has left are cosmetic projects and stacking up provisions so people can pick up anything they need. The KDF fleet has been making big strides. Starbase is closing in on Tier 3. The Spire has been progressing nicely. They should have the best advanced tactical consoles in the game soon enough. We have been unlocking Tier 1 of all the other holdings fairly quickly, and this is partially so we can get some provisions for fleet members to use if they visit a friendly fleet that has more store items unlocked. October 12th, there will be a bunch of stuff coming. A new event will be starting, Fall of the Old Ones, which will bring back the feline charm that everyone loved from last year. There is a rumor that a free ship may be appearing also, which would be another variant of the Miranda class. And the Gamma Recruit creation also returns on the 12th. Gamma Recruits are Jem'Hadar and Jem'Hadar Vanguard captains. They have special challenges for you to complete while playing the game to unlock rewards for the captain and account-wide rewards. These captains will ally with either the Federation or the Klingon Defense Force.
It's interesting how they did that, because if you're not familiar, the Jem'Hadar are kind of done how like the Death Knights and the Demon Hunters are done in WoW.
Yes.
Where they started much higher level, and they just kind of throw you right into it. So it's interesting just to start the game with a super powerful ship, and you're already smacking stuff really hard because you're a Jem'Hadar. But yeah, it's interesting, and then you have to choose a side.
Exactly.
Over in Guild Wars 2, a reminder that Dungeons & More Night is the second Friday of the month, which for October is Friday the 13th.
Ooh.
All are welcome. Yeah, there's still some stuff going on over there. It's kind of quiet, but yeah, there's still some murmurs and whatnot, so it's still active over there at Guild Wars 2 land.
Also, Friday the 13th is when the Microsoft Activision Blizzard King sale is supposed to complete.
Oh,
I
no.
mean, it's just appropriate.
Oh no.
Yep. All right. And in Lord of the Rings online news, the Corsairs of Umbar expansion has gone on pre-sale. With purchase, you can receive early access to the new Mariner class, a bunch of cosmetics, horses, and a level 140 Valar pack, which is an instant level kit. The new zones will open up November 1st and will have a new level cap of 150.
150?
I know. It's
Wow.
just like they just said, you know what? Level squish, what? Let's go.
Yeah. all the levels. Have all the levels, everyone.
Yep. And
They're not scared.
there's a link to the Corsairs of Umbar expansion in the show notes.
Oh my gosh, I want to be a mariner.
Right? Looks interesting.
Like I'm a big purple. I'm all about the water and all that stuff, so I'd be good there.
Oh, then you should look forward to the next WoW expansion. Oh,
Oh.
if the rumors are true.
If the rumors are true. All right. And also, it is time to try and remember what door goes where in the Haunted Bureau, because Harvest Math, yes, starts
Harvest
on
Math.
October 12th at 10 a.m. Eastern and runs through November 1st. And now that we've knocked through all of the news, let's get back to Kelsey here and find out what is going on in Final Fantasy XIV. I heard there was a light patch.
Light patch.
Yeah,
Light patch.
It is a light patch, but it's growing.
Yes.
There you go.
It's
It's a growing light. I see what you did there.
Yeah. Yeah. So Final Fantasy XIV tried something a little new this expansion cycle where they finished this expansion was completely self-contained in terms of its story, and then the 6.x patches had its own story that took place after the fact, and that has come to a close. And I think it had a really good, satisfying conclusion that really, like we were kind of talking about earlier. I can't remember if it was on the pre-show or not, but it really tied a lot of story threads that were still left a little bit open in a really satisfying way, while still leaving them open for the future. So,
Yes.
Really cool stuff. And we also got the last 24-man raid. So this is kind of like I think if you're familiar with looking for group raids in World of Warcraft, they're kind of at that level. Which was the last one for the Myths of the Realm, which was going over the stories about the 12, which are kind of the main gods from where all the main characters are from in Final Fantasy XIV.
Eorzea.
Which is super cool because they've been waffling between importance and non-importance a lot, but they never were really addressed what they are, where they, and
why they are.
And this is why. And this is it.
Yeah, and I think they had a pretty satisfying answer to all that as well. That
I loved the wrap up. I felt like it was done just right.
yeah,
So,
I think I really like. I feel like whenever they're and there's like gods in there in this type of setting, they're like, and they're evil.
Yeah,
and I
that was the thing.
appreciated that.
I was waiting for that shoe to drop. I'm like, okay, where's the bad shoe?
What are they gonna
Right.
do now?
Where's the smelly shoe? Where's it
Yeah,
dropping? And it's
but-
like, no, a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, and that's kind of what I feel like. I wrote this in the notes. I feel like that's been kind of the theme of this expansion or this patch. It's like there's not like plot twists like, oh my god, they were evil the whole time or anything like that. But there are a lot of really cool surprises in the content itself. Like the new dungeon has a really cool surprise in it. The new the 24-man raid, I feel like, has a really cool surprise at the end that they just didn't telegraph at all, like in the pre-release material and stuff.
Oh yeah,
like that.
yeah. They were really good. They don't they don't have a PTR that ruins everything of the story. Although I will give props to WoW, they're getting better about that.
That's good to hear.
They're finally not giving you all of the story. They're giving you all the mechanics, like they should, the stuff that you actually need people to test, but they're not spoiling all of the story. So I'm glad they're learning that from teams like Final Fantasy 14. So.
Me too, because I do think that's needed. It's like, it's fun to learn it in the PTR cycle, but it's more fun to do it yourself.
Yes.
and when it's actually good and not broken.
Yeah.
And like I think we talked about it earlier as well. So Final Fantasy 14 has this little side content called the Island Sanctuary, which is kind of Animal Crossing meets Final Fantasy 14. We can go to rank 20, and there are lots of new rewards. And a lot of them are long-term rewards too. It sounds like if you get to rank 20, that's not the end of it. There's still more stuff for you to do, and a multicolored Mandragora mount for you to get, which I'm going to be working on it because I love my rainbows.
Yeah, and they've had all of the other Mandragoras in the past that you could collect over time, so it kind of makes sense.
Yep. And it's been a super good patch so far, and we've got the main story is split into two sections for the final. They always do this for the patch 6.x.5. So we'll be getting the second half of that sometime in January. We're going to have another small patch, which is going to release even more another. They call them variant dungeons, where they, instead of like the traditional 4-man dungeons, they tend to have splitting paths, and you get a
choose your own adventure.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a choose your own adventure dungeon where the roles aren't set. I was really surprised that we were getting a third one. It seemed like this was something that they were going to just do 2 of and then go stop doing. But for this expansion cycle, but we're getting a third one, and it's called the Aloalo Islands.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, which is kind of like Hawaiian themed, and there might be pixies involved, so I'm guessing something. I'm guessing there's going to be some trickery.
Yes.
And then a bunch of other stuff, like the next relic weapon or the next crafting relic weapon. So when in Final Fantasy 14 you've got your battle jobs and you've got your crafting and gathering jobs, and they're getting their own kind of relic series. And a new map for our 5v5 PvP mode and is coming in 6.51, so that should be in a couple weeks.
Yeah,
nice.
The PvP has been surprisingly popular. It's the revamp has been amazing. I mean, it's almost enough that I occasionally don't suffer through PvP. So
exactly,
that's the most praise I can give a PvP content.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they really struck gold on their last PvP rebalance, where they kind of were like, all right, we're starting over. We're gonna figure out what we want PvP to be, not just pushing our PvE stuff into PvP. And I think they did a really good job.
Yeah, I had fun with it.
It's basically kind of like MMO version of Heroes of the Storm.
Yes, exactly.
You have a core 4 buttons you hit, and that's it. You don't have the full range of, okay, am I pushing this? Am I pushing that? Am I pushing this?
You don't have a 27-step rotation on Dragoon in order
exactly.
to
yes.
You have 4 abilities.
You go. Button, you kill everyone.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm dead.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So and then this month, right? I think this will happen before 6.51 drops, or right around it. We've got the next October Fan Fest in London. So we should be getting the. They haven't released exactly what they're going to show us, but I'm guessing we're going to get more. Or the first of the 2 jobs that they're releasing. I think the current hot guesses on what those jobs will be. What do we want it to? Is that a spoiler, or should I?
It's all speculation to this point.
Yeah, nothing's
we
confirmed, so you can't spoil something you don't know about.
That's true. So I think people are thinking like one of them is going to be Green Mage, which I'm still feel weird saying because I don't know why Red Mage, Black Mage, and White Mage works for me and Green Mage doesn't, but it does not.
Probably because you associate green with nature, and you don't associate nature and mage together. You would like nature and druid.
No, it's just that for some reason it sounds super lame to me. Like they're like red mage. Oh, that sounds cool. Green mage.
Yeah. What do you mean, like hunter?
Yeah, like what?
All the Green Lantern fans are coming after you.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I think it's also doesn't help that they have like Geomancer as a name, which I find really cool. That kind of does the thing, but as everyone will argue with me, Geomancers are already in the game.
Yeah.
But you can't play them, and okay, but I still think it's a better name than Green Mage.
I mean, every once in a while you see them in game. You kind of cringe when you do, but yeah.
Like, I want to.
Yeah, every once in a while you'll see a conjurer instead of a white mage, and you're like, "What are you doing? what, sir? Did you drop your job stone? Are you okay over there? Is everything okay?"
I can't keep all these job stones.
I know exactly.
And then the other one, I'm pretty sure is going to be Corsair. So I'm excited about that. As for mentioned, my previous Mariner thing.
Yeah.
But I know some people feel very strongly that it's going to be a Rune Knight or a Rune Fencer. I don't subscribe to that. I think the Warrior of Light in the trailer looks like Orlando Bloom. So I'm thinking swashbucklery type job. But
yes,
you never know. Final Fantasy, he is wielding a very magical looking sword. So I'll give you that one.
I like Seema's take on it. Tree Hugger Mage for Green Mage.
Exactly. That's your. It's actually a gathering job. It's a botanist that instead of going to the dark side, they stayed on the light side, but still picked up their weapons to attack.
Exactly. Yes.
Let's see, and I think they're also going to show the female Rothgar finally. So right now that's the last remaining gender-locked race, because there's some very subtle hints that they show this is actually really funny. So they showed the lower legs of the lower half,
and
of
everyone
NPC.
went nuts. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and what's funny is that people went and camera hacked so they could see the whole thing, and it was just a set of legs. Like,
right. They made sure.
So it was just legs.
Gorgeous.
That's hilarious.
But you could just barely see some fur on her legs. So I think it's our first female Rothgar. So I'm really excited about that.
Yoshi P's in the corner cackling.
Yeah, I mean, that would make sense, but yeah.
Yeah. I just thought that was so funny because they were like, we know they're going to do it, so just
don't include the top half of this model.
Yep.
The new race, just legs.
Exactly.
Yep, just legs.
Oh God, like Toy Story, just running around.
That would be amazing if the female Rothgar were just the lower half.
Right, exactly.
Legs. You are just legs, lots of kicks.
Yeah. How do you play monk? I don't know. You have to figure it out.
You just kick. You're kicking monk now.
Just lots of kick.
It ties into Green Mage being a foot job, like where you kick people really well.
Right. Yeah.
Let's see, and then in like a bunch more stuff coming in January, which I think will be after the Japanese. Wait. Yeah, the Japanese Fan Fest is in January, right?
Right.
We had the Las Vegas one already.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then we'll get part 2 of the MSQ that'll tie more directly into Dawn Trail. and the most important piece of content, which is somehow further Hildebrand adventures.
Right.
And we'll see how
Yes.
what extreme sports the Warrior of Light will get to pantomime in that cutscene. Since in the last two we did basketball and volleyball.
I need that. That's
I
the
wanna
one
s-
thing I forgot that there was another level of the Hildebrand adventure, so I've got to go do that now. The last one I
yeah.
did was the one on the moon. So
Oh yeah. I think you'll like it. you get to
We
learn
need
some
more.
things about
I've heard,
the
yeah.
Vanderbilt family. Yeah.
and why mom actually rules that family. Anyway.
And then hopefully
yeah.
more stuff with Brandy Hild.
Yes.
Yep. Oh, yep. He's in the screenshot. Our favorite polygonal plastic man.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they skipped this last expansion, but they're actually doing the Endwalker Tribal Alliance quest. So at the last
Right.
the last couple expansion packs, like you have all these side tribal quests with the different races of the world that are tend not to be player races. And they usually have like a capstone quest. And my
Yeah.
theory of why they didn't do it in Shadowbringers is there's always this really mean NPC that is in all this. Is like, I hate the beast.
Yeah.
And I think they couldn't figure out a way to get him to the reflection in Shadowbringers, so they were just like, forget it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It's possible.
It sounds like he's coming back, so we get to
Well,
give him
is
punch
he
in the
coming
face
back?
again. I feel like I guess nobody has said that. Maybe everyone's
This-
just speculating, but I swear I heard somebody say it, like that he was a part of it. But
the thing about the new three tribal alliance, like they already naturally work together. So
yeah, that's a good point.
So that's
Yeah.
why they can have it, because if you've been doing anything with the Omicrons, I keep trying to say Omnicrons, but
Yeah.
Omicrons, their helper is one of the moon race people. I don't know. Are we
Yeah.
even talking about who they are yet? Still, is that still a spoiler? But they already have a helper that is from that beast tribe. So
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
already a natural everything. And the Ara Sora, Ara Kora, Ara elephant.
Arca Sodara, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They already are a traveling, we want to move your goods around type of tribe. So it already works out. Like it just naturally has all this stuff set up for it. So they
Yeah.
already have why they're going to meet together and work together. So they won't need the antagonist, but they could still throw him in there just for
Yeah.
because he's been a thing.
Well, you got to have token character conflict. Come on.
Right. Yeah, since you
I can't
don't
wait
have
to come out,
since you
"Oh,
don't
he's
have
racist
factions, you
against a
kind of
bunch."
have to build it in. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's probably going to be like, robots.
And why are you here, the other side of the universe, dude? What's going on?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that would be
exactly.
great. I don't believe in this dynamis stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so that'll be cool to see again. They were usually really good quests, and sometime between now and the release of Dawn Trail, we're going to get an Xbox Series edition of Final Fantasy, or beta test. So if you guys, one of the cool things about Final Fantasy 14 is you can play it on your computer. You can play it with a controller on your computer, and you can play it on your PS5. And soon you'll be able to play it on your Xbox Series X and S.
I believe so.
Yeah, I think so. That's super exciting. I think Final Fantasy 14 is. I play exclusively on a controller. I converted in A Realm Reborn, and I have not looked back at all. So, if you want a MMO to play on the couch, I think Final Fantasy 14 is your game. And soon you can do it on your Xbox if you got one of those. And then a Fall Guys event.
Yeah, that's just bizarre. But
I'm sure the marketing teams of these two companies are very excited.
Yes.
I'll probably check it out. That's all I can say. It has not made me interested in signing up for Fall Guys. I'll say that much.
Well, I saw a little bit of a burst of activity, people playing Fall Guys for a little bit because the Final Fantasy 14 stuff is available there.
Yeah.
But some of it is you have to earn it, and some of it is, I think, blocked behind a paywall. So it's kind of half and half. So
Yeah, I mean, if you want to be a Goobu, in Fall Guys, and now's your chance.
Yeah.
If that's been your specific dream all this time, go for it.
Or you can be Alizé or Blue Alizé. It's.
Oh yeah. I will say the Monster Hunter collab was super cool. I happen to be a fan of both franchises, so that helps. So I'll give Fall Guys a chance.
Yeah, it'll probably be more fun than Final Fantasy 14 anyway.
Yeah, that is true. But yeah, that's kind of the big stuff, coming in the next couple months, and yeah, I didn't have an end for this.
That's okay.
No, it's and I have to say I like the cadence. It's been, and they've always had this great cadence, but it's like I can do stuff if I want to noodle away on something I can, or I can have time for the 15 things on my to-do list of back games. So
exactly.
I appreciate that.
It's interesting. Yeah, I was listening to a podcast today where it was a couple weeks old, and they were talking about some like YouTube drama about people being like, "No, look at World of Warcraft. They give you reasons to log in every day. Isn't that great?" And I'm like, no,
it's not.
No,
no.
No.
Like
We
it's
broke
really
that
funny, actually, 'cause
addiction.
I've been- yeah, it's been funny because like suddenly my schedule has filled up. Like I'm the forever DM on Mondays for it's a Pathfinder game now, and then I've got my Saturday Final Fantasy 14 events. I've got another D&D game I've joined. Like suddenly my days are full. I barely have a chance to play Final Fantasy 14 as much as I want to, and I have all these other games. You can't make me log in every day too.
No,
Yeah.
I mean that's one thing that actually frustrated me a bit about ESO was I at least have to log in to get the daily reward.
Yeah.
When you were there, because it wasn't a fear of missing out. It was just like I'm not playing optimally, and I hate
do
that.
want that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I want that 100,000 gold at the end of the month.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was the same
Yeah.
thing with again, I think they're doing new and inventive stuff in SOTOR, but with the season pass, it's just it's like they're compelling you to log in to play because you've only got a set amount of time to do it. And if you play regularly, it's not like you're doing extra work if you're playing, if that's your primary game.
Right.
And that's something you play continually, that battle pass or that season pass is entirely reasonable to do in the amount of time they get it to you. But if you're playing super casually, where you only log in once or twice just to do a couple things, it can be almost disheartening that you're not doing it, and then you feel like, well, why am I logging in then if I'm not doing this content? Maybe it's probably a me thing, but
No, I think it's pretty universal, and that's one of the things that I will give WoW props. The traders thing, their version of a season pass, is at least doesn't force you to be in every day.
No,
and it's tracking stuff every month. You have the whole month to do it, but it's stuff you will most likely already be doing.
Yeah,
it's X many raid bosses killed, X many dungeons run, do this holiday event, do this other holiday event, like it's do Dark Moon Fair every month, like stuff you will most likely already be doing is going to check off those boxes.
Right.
And maybe if you had a light month, you have to do a little bit of grinding at the end of the month if you want all the rewards, because there's always a full earn reward, like a mount or a tier piece or outfit or something. But I will say that has probably been one of their better ideas in a while.
Yeah.
So I have appreciated that. But yes, it's just great when they can figure out that, like, don't force you to come in, but it's pleasant to come in.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you have to log in every day, it turns into a job, and then you start to regret it, and then then you get stuck with sunken cost fallacies and
because I think part of the drama, Kel, that you mentioned earlier was like that the pacing felt very slow for this expansion, and I'm like, it doesn't and it doesn't. It's like,
I think it actually
go ahead.
I think it actually comes down to, from my understanding of it, it was a lot of like streamers that so you're incentivized as a streamer to just stream one game, right?
Yes.
And there is, like, once you get, like, if people are watching you because you're doing extreme raiding, right, and you complete all the raids,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are people going to watch?
Right,
You
exactly.
know, and so I do get it from that angle. You know, like if you have set yourself up in a very narrow thing with Final Fantasy 14, yeah, there isn't enough content. It would get repetitive. I don't
Yeah.
think the way other games do it necessarily would solve that problem for a streamer. Because I think like
No.
daily rewards in ESO, logging in to get your daily rewards is not quite super compelling for
No.
streaming.
I
But,
think part of it was
I get the critique, but you know, like I think it's a very specific problem for a specific set of people. Yeah, because there is a lot to do, especially if you play more than one class in Final Fantasy 14. I mean, you'll want to run this weekly stuff to make sure you can gear up all of them to a level that's acceptable for you, and all that stuff.
Oh, that was what was frustrating because I'm not playing actively all the time and running the dungeons over and over. Like I got to a story point and it's like, oh, you're not geared enough to go into the dungeon. I'm like, I'm not. What you got? I was like looking at it and I was 619 of 620. Like, okay,
that's
fine.
hilarious.
So I'll go drop 125,000 gil on the market board and upgrade one piece of gil or one piece of gear. Went through, that was the dungeon, and then I got to the trial and it's like, you're not geared enough. I'm like, what? And I was at 624 of 625. I'm like, oh, come on. So I had to go to the market board and buy another piece. Yeah.
Well, and also, like, one of the things that I think that the streamers' problems that they were having is, if you think about it, a lot of them were new to Final Fantasy and Shadowbringers.
So they had a lot of content to go through. Yeah.
They had 2 through 5 to do, and then they had to wait for new Endwalker content. I think that's what it was.
Oh, 100%.
Because all the people all the long-time streamers that have been doing Final Fantasy 14 since 2.0, they were just doing it as normal, and they were not complaining because that's just what they were used to. They do the content as soon as it comes open, and they keep themselves busy the rest of the time. But it's all these people that abandoned whatever the game they were playing before and are now like, you know, Final Fantasy 14 is my savior. It's you know, the promised land. Look at all this wonderful content. Okay, I've gone through all the wonderful content.
Wait, what? I'm out of content?
Yeah. Give me more faster. It's like, no, this is the same pace it's been for a while.
Yeah.
I think that's it. They had, you know, the COVID, they call it the COVID conversion, where they had the 4 expansions, you know, ARR, Heaven's Ward, Stormbringer, and plus Shadowbringers.
Shadowbringers.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting that in WoW expansions confused.
Yeah,
I'm like, why are you naming your things so nuts?
Actually, it's called Stormblood and Shadowbringers, not
exactly.
Stormbringers.
Yes. That's my fault. Conflating WoW expansions and Final Fantasy 14. But yeah, they had 4.
How dare you?
I know. And they had 4 expansions worth of content, which meant 4 expansions worth of dungeons, 4 expansions worth of trials, 4 expansions worth of alliance raids, regular raids,
side content.
Yeah, just
Boja, Eureka.
Exactly.
All the crafting with so much crafting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But now that you're current, for those of us that, you know, got current and now can like, oh, there's a new patch. Great. I can take a couple weeks, relax, play the content at my level, and, you know, okay, hey, I'm still working on my island sanctuary, so I'm still logging in every day, but I don't feel compelled that I've got to keep up with the gear grind, you know, and that sort of thing. So it's refreshing to me, actually.
Yeah, and side note, if anyone's trying to catch up and they hit that gear wall, let me know. Like at Kelsier or at Kaz, we're both high level Omnicrafters, so we can get you that gear if you don't have enough gil.
Yeah. Once you have an Omnicrafter, it is so easy. Just a little bit of gathering. Yeah, you can just put it together. It's the only reason why it's so expensive is because of the gathering and whatnot. The cost. A lot of them don't gather. They'll just grab it off the market board and then craft it real fast.
For me, it was just an effort of time. I was just like, I want to see the next content. Gimme.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Exactly. Just for sure. But Yeah, it all the new content they're putting in has been super high quality. I'm really looking forward to the next variant dungeon. They said one of the critiques on that as well has been like a lack of rewards on like the Savage version of it, and they said they're trying something different with this one to see like what a good reward will be for that. So we'll have to see.
Interesting.
We'll get our regular Savage 4-man content.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, or we're good?
Speaking of Stormbringers, Stormblood is now
Yes.
part of the free trial. So
Yes.
if you're looking for if you're like, man, I have no video games to play. There is nothing good out right now.
One, you're lying.
One, you have very poor taste in video games, but apparently you do exist because I've seen that comment on Reddit. You can come try Stormblood, play all the way up to Stormblood, which people like to be like, oh, Stormblood's the worst expansion, but I disagree. I mean, I guess if I had to rank them in a list, it'd probably be the last one, but it's still it's still really good.
The ending is definitely worth all the like. Yeah, the beginning's a little rough because you're going through war, but you know.
Yeah,
it ends really nicely. Not to mention two new classes for free.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, and lots of really cool side content. We're actually engaging one of that side content right now on Friday or Saturdays. Eureka, which is one that the very first zone you'll go in and you'll be like, what is this? This sucks. But if you can just get past the little start, and we'll be happy to help you there. Some of my best memories of Final Fantasy XIV are in the most the one that gets the zone in that gets most ripped on. So it is genuinely really fun. So I think you know how people like will hate. The hate cycle will continue for the memes. I think that's where that is. But anyway, so yeah, lots of fun stuff. Feel free to join us in Final Fantasy XIV. We'll be happy to have you.
Awesome. All right. Well, that is our show for tonight. While the chat room begins suggesting show titles, we want to thank you for joining us. Thanks, Kelsey. We really appreciate it. It's been a blast.
Thanks. Yeah, thank you for having me. Always happy to be on here.
Absolutely.
Right. If you have questions or comments about our show, you can email us at podcast@aie-guild.org. You can find us on AIE Discord and other non-Twitter social medias at our usual names of Tetsemi or Ivory Tiger or Mew Cow or Makala or Cyberwaif. We're all over the place. Just find us. We're on Blue Sky. We're on Mastodon. Yada yada yada. We're on there. You'll find us. Easier to find us in Discord though. We record live with video every other Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. You can join the chat room and play along with us at the website, which is aie-guild.org/podcast-live-stream. And look for the link in our Discord server, which is on aie-guild.org. It's up there at the top. Just click it. If you want to see some past episodes and see us, because, video and all that fun stuff, you can see them on the YouTube channel. It is, just look for the AIE Podcast on YouTube. Our theme was composed by the amazing Andrew Allen. Follow him at Keys with Soul on various Twitter-like things, or visit his website, andrewallenmusic.com.
And now it's time to play all of the great AI member segments we received this week, including, well, we didn't get any, but you know what? We're going to keep putting it in here because we know somebody sometime is going to want to put in a 90 to 120 second blurb about what they've been doing with AIE in the game. So next time, we will be talking to Mei Lung about Lord of the Rings Online. So until then, AIE.
This is Kelsier.
This is Tetsemi.
This is Bukow.
And this has been the AIE Podcast. Yay! And I threw two show titles in there that I talked while Mew was talking at the very beginning. I threw a couple show titles in there. So,
Liberty City, the Darker Tradition.
Do you mean Night City or
Night City? Yes. Where's Liberty City from? Oh God,
I don't know.
What video game? My brain's now Liberty
But
City.
yeah,
Like
that's-
Grand Theft
it's-
Auto sound.
It could be.
But yeah, it's funny you have
Liberty
the second
City
one.
GTA.
GTA 5.
I've
okay.
seen.
How did I
I've seen
pull that out? I barely even played that.
It's the selective consciousness.
I will say that a lot of people have been commenting on how Cyberpunk has been the new 2.0 Realm Reborn. Like
Yes.
a lot of people saying,
Oh, yeah.
it's the best remake since Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
100%.
brother was super into that game. I'll need to poke him and remind him it's out there because
Oh, 2.0 is amazing. It
Yeah.
revamps it, and like I said, it has its weirdness, but like it's so every week there's this show we like to watch on YouTube called Highlight Reel, and it highlights like this week's like weird game glitches, and it used to be like I did this awesome shot in this one game, but now it's like what weird things are happening in games. And so normally, like, whenever a new game comes out, you can see, oh, it's time for the bugs. So here's all the Starfield bugs, and we were remarking this week. It's like, not a lot of Cyberpunk bugs.
No.
It's as if they did a good job with 2.0.
Yeah.
and didn't release
You
a
mean
buggy game.
they took their time and actually Q&A'd it and weren't rushing to get it
yeah.
out the door? The thing
funny
I
how
really
that
like
works.
about 2.0 is that you're not like, if you like a jacket or a pair of pants or something, that's completely gear now as far as clothing. It's not armor or system level stuff. It's like, if you want to look a certain way, and it's not tied to your gear stats and everything like that. So
Yeah, they took the Final Fantasy 14 glamour plate and put that into Cyberpunk.
Oh, that's cool.
So as you pick up a piece of gear, then you can create. There's only 6 slots for now, but you can create 6 slots of a wardrobe from the pieces you've picked up, and then you can wear whatever armor pieces you want, which is it's clothing. But you wear these for armor, and then the wardrobe splats on top of it, and you can turn that off too. Like if you want to look like the weird hodgepodge of stuff you're wearing, you can turn that off. But yeah, it's just like glamour plates. Like I like that system too. Yeah.
yep.
Yeah, they need that in BG3. I know you can kind of wear your like camp clothes, but then your weapon disappears, which people need to see my barbarian's great axe.
Yeah. No, 100%. Well, although I don't know if it's a glitch or stuff, but there's like, you switch to the camp clothes, and Lizelle in my campaign is still holding her two-handed sword out. Like,
that's
like she's
interesting.
taking it to bed. I'm like, all right. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
Hey, you know.
that she has a very different culture.
yeah, exactly. So,
Not like those tieflings
uh,
on Fae Run.
I do like both of these titles, but maybe I like the second one better.
all right.
Yeah.
You like the second one? All right. We'll go with that.
Well, because Final Fantasy 14 was the focus this week, so
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
It works.
Yep. All right. We will do that. Chat room. Thank
Dark
you.
Urge Reborn.
Exactly. Oh Lord, don't want to go there. All right, there's enough thirst in Final Fantasy 14. We don't need to go there.
yeah.
So, also, it was really good to see Lena again. I forgot how much I missed that character from the first. So, all right,
I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, chat room. We're gonna let Mew go actually play content after he's done wrangling kiddos and stuff. So,
Child, yep.
all right.
All right,
Have
great
a good one,
talking to you
chat
guys.
Chat room.
Thanks, everyone.